So waiting for people to come on. Yeah, yeah. There we go. And hopefully I can be heard. And we're going to be talking about some of the things that we've been lied to about the twin flame journey, how we were made, starseed understanding, and how many of us have been awakened within ourselves. Okay? Meaning dreams years before you met your twin or years after you met your twin, dreams that connected you to your truth, who you really are, how you were made, where you incarnated, what planets, and so forth. And so the disclosure statement that we've all been waiting for, the disclosure, right? That's us. We're the disclosure. We are actually those beings that incarnated as humans. And so the question would be, well, there are a couple of things. One is, if you've watched anything on the Anunnakis and you've watched anything, there's a really great content creator on this subject called Astral Legends. He's absolutely phenomenal. And he is distilling a lot of this knowledge. Hello, Stella. And distilling all this knowledge as to how we were made. And why is this important? Because you see, many of us were twin flames in other planets. See, that's the thing people can't wrap their head around. We were, and some of the problems, I kid you not, that we still have, we had in other planets. So when you watch things translated by Zachariah Stitchin, a 12th planet, you're going to realize, and this is all emerald tablets, Sumerian texts, and so forth, that talks about how we were made, our beginnings. And there's just too much information now. Einstein was writing about things that still will not be published to the mass until most of us are gone. Because it was, in his mind, still too woo-hoo, and he didn't see how the collective mindset would accept this knowledge. And how is it related to twin flames? It's related to twin flames because we're souls first. The split of twin flames is having multiple incarnations that can be simultaneous, and the twin flame is the closest one to that end. And then after that, you can actually split even further, kind of like Angel Michael is in 100 million homes at once. And that's what makes us multidimensional light beings. And why is it related to twin flames? Because until we understand our very beginnings, our very lineage, like I know you want to work on your family lineage, and I get it, because I'm doing that too, so I'm not judging you guys on that at all. What I'm saying is, you've got to also expand it out. It's almost like expansion and contraction in realizing that you need to look beyond this incarnation and this lineage, the lineage you embody today. It's not the only lineage you've embodied. You got to keep remembering that. You know what I mean? Hey friends, Mimi says. So once you come to a place of transcendental understanding of your beginnings, your making, and your essential truth of what you are, this energetic being that's had all kinds of incredible, powerful experiences, not just on this planet, but on other dimensions and realms, and you accept that as truth, your truth, from your own experience, from your own downloads, right? It's not going to make you schizophrenic, but it is going to make you realize how beautiful and potent you are. And the most important thing as you evolve out of that is not to now start thinking you're Jesus or Mary of Magdalena okay, because if you were those, you and I wouldn't be talking. Let's be honest, okay? You and I would not be talking, because that kind of frequency is so potent and powerful that it would not be something that you'd be how do I put that without sounding like an ass? You wouldn't be able to embody it in this dense 3D. You just would not. Okay, you just, not because they're levitating and walking on water. The density, you got to remember, when Yeshua And Siddhartha, who was known later as Buddha, and other prophets like Mary Magdalena, we didn't have the density that we have today. Do you guys realize that? This is really dense. It has a lot to do with the satellites and the frequencies of cell phones, all that. It's a very dense plane that we live in. It's kind of interesting. There's a dichotomy to it. There's a beauty to it and how we can connect with a touch of a phone worldwide, right? And you can find your tribe's lost soul members. But the price we're paying is the density of this particular timeline as well, which is probably feeling very crushing, and that's why many of you actually are going through some levels of depression, which is absolutely normal. And they're telling me you guys should watch the movie Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves. Watch that movie. It was made in the late 90s, and it talks about this the frequency based on all the satellites and how it creates disease. I kid you not. And so if I were you, I would look into those, that movie, Johnny Mnemonic. Look into that. They're also telling me, I don't know why, today's movie time, I guess, guys. I guess the weekend's going to be coming up. You may want to write this down. You've got Johnny Mnemonic. Second movie they're asking me to tell you is called Gattaca. Gattaca with Uma Thurman. Just so Gattaca. Gattacca, I believe. Uma Thurman. And Johnny Mnemonic, just look at, I don't know how to spell that. I think it's M-N-E Mnemonic. So I think it's M-N-E-N-O-N-I-C. Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves. Hi, I am Shaman. It's good to see you. Hi, Becca. Nat, it's good to see you. Thank you for your comments, by the way, on the video. So any questions on that so far? Does that resonate? If it doesn't resonate, I'm good with no. It sounds like bullshit. I'm okay with that. My ex-girlfriend's friend claimed I haven't been through anything. That's kind of like, okay, guys, do you mind, if you don't mind, could you keep the comments like connected to what we're talking or what I'm talking about, only because it helps, because it doesn't make sense. It's so random, a comment like that. No offense. I just want you to know that we're talking about something, and the lives that I do typically are they're not themed. Typically, I don't think about it ahead of time. I'm told to log on by my guide. It's a guiding system, and then I don't know what comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth, and it becomes the theme of the live. Just so you know, respectfully. So I don't do readings. I'm not going to answer your questions on that level of, is Johnny going to come back to talk to me? Am I going to get a call? Am I going to see him this weekend? I'm not. First of all, I'm never that person on these lives, respectfully. And that's not to denigrate anyone who does that. It's just to say that's not my style. So with that said, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about how we were made. Thank you for asking, Shaman. How we were made, the 12th planet, Zachariah Stitchin. I was talking about Astral Legends, who does these incredibly, the guy's a content creator. He's amazing. I would look up Astral Legends on YouTube so you can get the full videos of what he's creating. Because or else on TikTok, you're just going to get little snippets, 5-minute snippets, and it's not going to give you the whole content. Just go on. It's called Astral Legends. And he uses AI for his beautiful present to content. So it's very beautiful. And he's translating and distilling the Emerald Tablet, the Anunnaki, Zachariah Stitchin's writings, let me rephrase that, translations of the Sumerian tablets. I remember my twin back in 2008 was sending me books on Zachariah Stitchin's, and my head was so up my ass that I didn't pay attention, okay? And the Uma Thurman movie was called Gattaca. I don't know why I'm getting those downloads for your movies, and they're very intense movies. Okay, Gattaca is a fucking intense movie, but we're getting there if we're not careful. That's quite 33 people here. Oh, how cool! Well, we've dropped to 25, so that was quick. Again, very few people want to talk about this stuff because all they want to talk about is twin flames, twin flames, twin flames, twin flames, twin flames. The journey. If you don't know where you come from, as a spirit soul, how in the hell are you going to understand and navigate a twin flame journey? I don't understand how people think. Twin flame journey is a soul's journey. Do we understand that, people? My beautiful, beautiful beings, my beautiful brothers and sisters. Do we understand that a twin flame journey is a soul's journey? And before we can understand the soul's journey, we have to understand who we are as souls. Before we can understand the soul's journey that's connected with the twin flame, we have to see who the hell we are from our very inceptions, beginnings. And that's the whole point of why we're going through the ascension. Know thyself, be true. Does that make sense? And so when people get bored because they just want to go off, because they just want to hear about the twin flame dynamic and the broken masculine and the broken feminine and the chaser runner, at the end of it all, you've got to understand your makings. People think stamps. I am sure 90% of those thinking they're RTS are bots. Yeah, I agree. A lot of them aren't. Like, they're not. They're not twin flames. Some of them, in fact, I remember I did a reading recently, which really blew my mind, because literally, twin flames is when we have these definite, different egoic personifications in these different bodies, right? We agree. I did a reading recently where this person and her, it wasn't a twin, it was the connection was so close and they were lovers, but it was like her having concurrent incarnation. She was having a concurrent incarnation, the masculine stuff. It was not a twin. It was, I know it sounds woohoo, but whatever. We're here, my friends. She was having a concurrent incarnation with herself and as the masculine personification, because what I was seeing was mirroring. And I don't mean mirroring like I see with twin flames. I mean mirroring in ways I'd never seen. And finally, when I was, honestly, I was confused. I'm going to be truthful. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I mean, and finally I got a download. She has in a way given birth to herself, meaning she has a concurrent incarnation in the masculine form, and it is her lover. It is for her to love herself. They really didn't have any problems, to be honest. They weren't twin rays, though they could have been, but they weren't. And everything was a reflection of, it was the wildest reading I've ever done. And she definitely was not a twin flame, though. It was really interesting. Yes, I finally do. That's awesome. And that's actually good. It's not a joy. This journey, most are not strong for it. Most people aren't strong for it. They don't want it, actually. Smart people don't want that connection. They don't want a twin flame connection at all. So when you look at how we fell, right? And we do regress and we do progress and we do regress and we do progress. I mean, it's easy to understand. Look at children at school. When they're going through trauma, they regress, right? They regress really badly. So why are we here? Why are we in 3D? And why are we going through this kind of incredible, dense planetary system, which is a dimension feels so crushing that people, starseeds who are self-aware, develop massive depressions. Like they want to go home. They feel homeless all the time. It's because if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Not being funny. If you can actually overcome this and get into a place of self empowerment and self-realization and like looking, like witnessing your pain from the eyes of a transcendental being, a light being, and seeing it and seeing your egoic personification of yourself. I am shaman or Dion or anyone else out there. And if you can do that, which is difficult, I struggle with that, and I struggle with it, and I meditate, and I chant a lot to get over myself, literally the Tony personification in this incarnation, and realizing that when Tony dies, right, there's little components of me that will still be on my soul's truth, right, my soul's new path. But the most of the egoic framework that made Tony suffer in this incarnation will be gone. There will be some scars, impressions of her, but they'll be gone because my next incarnation will be on another dimension, a different planet, and there'll be some time before I even am given or decide to take an incarnation. And yes, many of you are going to have the choice to decide. Many of you are volunteers here. Many of you had to take on karma here to come down here, kind of like the Little Mermaid giving up her beautiful voice to get legs to come on Earth to meet the prince, if you know that story. So many of you are going to have to go through this. In separation mode days are okay, but in those last night through laying in bed, yeah. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if you can understand who you are as a spirit soul and your origins as a spirit soul, everything else in this incarnation is going to become much more transcendental and much easier to take. That's my point. And that's why what you learn about isn't, no offense, okay? And my twin's an Irishman and I'm French and American. That's great to have a family lineage and all that. That's woohoo. Let's have fun. But you've been buried. There are plots with gravestones that have your name on it from past lives. How about that for seeing things from a different angle? So when you understand that the main attraction for you, and for myself, it is for me, but for you, would be to really go down the rabbit hole of realizing what are my origins, what are my true origins, and that's what I love about starseeds. You say, I'm Pleiadian, I'm Arcturian, I'm Syrian. You're going in the right direction, because it's giving you a truer perspective of your soul's resonance. And how is it connecting it to the twin? Well, because if that's your twin, then if you figured out that you're from the Pleiadians, you're a Lyran or you're Arcturian or whatever, that means so is your twin, clearly, right? Obviously. And that means now you have a greater understanding of your beginnings and the foundational framework of your truth. Does that make sense? And the rest is all egoic framework, right? In these particular bloodlines you embody in this incarnation. Does that make sense? So that's, how do you find that out if you're a Pleiadian or the other races? It's just a feeling. I'm not getting, it's a download. Like I've said this in many lives, but I'll say it again. My husband, when he was 10 years old, right? He was born in 1962. When he was 10 years old, that's 1972. So you guys who weren't born there, you don't understand. There were no fax machine. No, faxes were just they were about to come out. There were no fax machines, so I don't think they came out until 1976. And the world wasn't as it is. Information was very limited. There were very, very few writers that wrote about the other side on that level of consciousness. So at 10 years old, he was telling people he came from the planet of Pleiades. So whatever feels right to you is probably home. Just like you feel very connected to, like I feel an incredible connection to France, okay? And Paris. Not connected to the people in this incarnation, no offense to French people today, but I have no connection with French people together and the way they are. I have an incredible connection to the land, its vibration. I have connections with other lands and vibrations. And what does that mean? It's because I was there in other incarnations, so it feels like home. So whatever you feel connected to is most likely what is your home, your original home. And that's how you can tell. And then after that, you're going to look at, you're going to read about it. And Taya says, Pleiadian here, I am members of home. There you go. So that's how you find out. You found out through that. You can find out also through hypnotherapy. I have a couple clients who, when I did their hypnotherapy, they basically went back into time and they were on other planets as different types of species. Okay. So that is what I'm going to tell you on that end. Do you have any other questions on that? So when you know who you are, it helps in your twin flame journey. And if you can't figure it out, it's okay, because if it's not given to you, it means you're not supposed to, that's not your concern right now. You don't have to stress out. It's not a failure not to know. There's no wrong or right to this journey. Your journey is completely individualized. And it's not my journey. But so for some of you, yeah, you're going to know, and it's going to come through you, and you're going to understand it, and you're going to go, yeah, I'm Pleiadian, or yeah, I'm Arcturian, or What does Pleiadians look like? I'm so intrigued. They don't, and that's why I don't like people talking too much about how they look, because um, they have multiple. There are multiple species of Pleiadians. Some are Lyrans. They look like cat people, and some are Nordic looking, and so forth. So, but that's just two. There are tons and tons of different dimensions and planets and species that are out there in that sector. Okay, so that's the problem with giving people a sense of it only feels they only look like this. They don't. I had a client who she gave me salamander people. They were like salamanders, meaning they were blue people, and they could change gender at will. Literally, you want more women? Okay, there's more women. You want more men? Okay, there's more masculines. And then there was another one where it was for me personally, we were a yellow race. I've never heard anyone talk about it. None of the quote unquote experts, and many of them are, by the way, they're very good, but they haven't brought up my race that I saw. I saw two races. One was the pale yellow race with the long white hair and the blonde lashes and gold eyes. I'll never forget that. That's like stamped in my head. And the second one I'll never forget. Again, me and my twin were that race. And the red race with the black hair, and only the men had gold hairs on their bodies, like these. You know how men have hair, like chest hairs and arm hairs and stuff. Yeah, but gold, like pure gold, and on the red skin, and all of us were red skinned. So I've never heard. I've never heard that. I've never heard those breeds, those species described. That doesn't mean that they are not there. You know what I mean? I felt like I was Andromedan, correct. Getting many more downloads. It's wonderfully crazy. Yes, it is. It is wonderfully crazy and beautiful. I started trusting myself more in my intuition, and really magical things happen. Well, that's the whole point. So does that answer your question, Cash Mommy? Just so you can kind of go look at this on your own. But don't get too caught up in, well, I can't be that if I don't look like that, because that's not true. If you feel connected to a particular I don't even know what to call it, to be honest with you. Sometimes I go blank. A particular sector, Syrian or whatever. There's a particular guy you might want to check out. His name is Adam Apollo. He's a Syrian ambassador. That's what he calls himself. And there's no doubt that he is. He really has an incredible understanding of energy in a real way. And he teaches people energy work and energy, and he looks like he's a beautiful man. Don't get me wrong when I say this. So I'm about to say, but he has this move of this elegance of a praying mantis. And he definitely looks like he's from another planet. There's no doubt. You might want to check it out. His name is Adam Apollo, and you can search him on Gaia.com. That would be the best way to search him, is on Gaia.com, because you're not going to get his full essence. I don't know why he's never republished those interviews that he did with Ruben, but yeah, Adam Apollo on Gaia.com. That's how I would search it there, and that's when you're going to get the full essence of who he is and why I'm bringing him up. Okay, and so he calls himself a Syrian ambassador, and there were elfins. That's why I was attracted to the Lord of the Rings. I actually hate the Lord of the Rings, to be honest. I hate the battles and the this and the evil and I hate battles. I always forward it. I don't want to see that. What I want to see is in for example Lord of the Rings is the elfin people and the castles and the waterfalls and the moss and the trees. That totally resonates to me. And what's interesting is he talks about elfin like looking species. So a lot of things that we think is, I don't know how to call it, you know what I mean, myth, whatever, is actually just our own selves remembering. And that's what it is, really. We're just remembering where we came from, and the multiple types of species of souls incarnated in different types of bodies that have come through. You know what I mean? So it's really, really, really cool. Really cool. Any questions on that? Because that's really, and all of that goes back to twin flames for you guys that are twin flames, because all of that is going to explain and express a higher truth of understanding of who you are, and maybe some of the problems, challenges, whatever you want to call it, that are plaguing your connection. And one of the things that plagues all of us is the amnesia and not knowing who we are. That is a problem. Anyway, any other questions? I have to get ready for a client. I'm going to do a reading soon. So just want to make sure that you guys are good, and that you're kind, that you're not letting these shows that are coming out on Twin Flames throw you off your course, make you doubt yourself, make you hate yourself. Don't do that. Okay? Do not do that. Don't let these shows are being put together for it's just to get views. It's also to separate us from our truth. And our truth, for those of us who are twin flames, we know who we are. The problem is that, and we know what the signs are. Doubt is the stage of the journey. Yes, it is. But it doesn't really matter. Like, I met my twin at 18. We talked on the phone here and there. 2 weeks, that's all we had. We had the kiss, that was it. And then, I never thought of him as a twin. Are you kidding me? I knew it was a soul connection. I'm not stupid. At 18, I knew I had enough sense to know that. And I met my husband, the man that would become my husband. But I never forgot my twin. And I'm calling him my twin for clarity here. And then just evolution started happening with my own. I had to write a couple books. I wrote books. If I had been in union with my twin in 2008, we reconnected after 27 years of separation, and I had to take care of my son, and I had to write 2 books. Okay? I couldn't have done that had I been with my twin. The separation I had in the last 2 years, 2.5 years with my twin, I couldn't have done what I have so far accomplished had I been with my twin. See, the separations are not punishments. You're not fucking up. But when you educate instead of chasing, right? When you educate your twin, and I'm not talking about a twin that you think is a twin because you met them at a garage. I just like at a gas station. Like I'm referring to the show, the Twin Flame show that is on Prime Amazon. I don't even think that I don't think it's her twin. I really don't. I think it was a lesson for both of them. If you look at it, she's transgender and he was a buff lumberjack guy, and they were attracted to each other, clearly. That doesn't make it your twin. That makes it a lesson, because apparently the guy is bisexual and he's not being open and honest about it, going, oh gosh, she's transgender, I'm engaged with a girl, and I guess I'm bisexual, maybe I should look into that, or whatever that is, right? Whatever that, but that does, sexual attraction does not make you a twin. And I feel like so many people have obsessions. And just so you know, on the side note, I hate the word limerence. I really do not like that word because it's not honest. Obsession, I have an obsession. Let me tell you my obsession. My obsession is to finish my book. There's nothing wrong with my obsession. My hyper-focused obsession. Fantastic. Love it. Obsession for another human being is the universe asking you to look at it on a soul level, not a sexual level. On a soul level, to ask yourself, why am I so obsessed with this person? Oh, wait, let me go see a hypnotherapist, see what past life, some scars I have, impressions, trauma with them. Maybe there's something I need to know. Let me go deeper. Let me just not go to bed with them or pine for them or obsess over them. Let me see if an obsession happens. It's either divinely, it's not either. It's always divinely guided. Always. The obsession is either for you to move to another country because you're like crazy about Accra, Ghana. You want to move to Accra, Ghana, or you want to move to Sweden or Norway or Portugal, right? You've got this obsession. So you go. And then suddenly you're realizing, oh shit, this is my tribe. I'm having divine appointments. I had divine appointments with certain soulmate tribe members. Okay, so that was an obsession that drove you in the right place, right? An obsession that goes wrong for a man or a woman when they're obsessed for another human being and it turns into a sexual obsession is usually a past life trauma. And so all you have to do is just look at it. Go to a hypnotherapist, ask yourself, do some soul retrieval guided meditations. It's free on YouTube. It's not like it's expensive. It's free. And you just sit in meditation and you go, what is this? Why do I have this thing for Jim or Jillian? What is this? And show me, please show me. And the universe will download some stuff from the Akashic records that will start opening those portals to show you what's up. That's it. And what makes a twin flame different than an obsession, which people don't seem to understand, and to be honest with you, there's so much confusing that, oh, you feel connected, you feel like you've never felt that way before. Do you know how many people I felt that way for? I felt that way with girlfriends I've met. I felt that way with my husband and my twin and one other person. That doesn't mean that they're your twin. My girlfriends are not my twin flames. Okay, but I never felt that way before when I met these three women that are some of my best friends. Never felt that way with other women. Felt connected with women, love women as friends, God as friends, this and that. But those three women, it was like, wait, hang on, who are you? You're my, well, no kidding. You've had thousands of incarnations with them. No, of course you feel like you've never felt before. It doesn't always mean it's a twin. What makes it a twin at that point, moving into deeper reflections on what makes a twin flame a twin flame, is the serendipitous connections with the numbers. It's not a joke. With the telepathy, would download memories of past lives with that person. And it's not just a one-time thing, which it can happen with a soulmate, of course, but it happens constantly. The sexual healing that happens if you're sexually with them, if you're pleasuring yourself and thinking of them, and it's almost like they're there. There are levels of synchronicities and downloads and aha moments that are so deep. And it doesn't happen with just a sexual obsession with another human being where you may have had past life traumas. Does that make sense? And that's where it's being missed. I very much recommend Tony always looking for answers. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. For certain people, way better to go to the hypnotherapist, not going on the Akashic records themselves. I think, do you believe your twin flame can be found in your birth chart? Not necessarily, no. Because one of my friends sent me a book who's actually an astrologer, and I thought it was bullshit. You know what I thought when I saw the charts where it's all the same? I thought I thought that's a concurrent incarnation. That was the download I got. That's a concurrent incarnation. That's why the charts are exactly on point. The only other thing it can be, honestly, is a twin ray. But in terms of twin flames, no, because in twin flames, I also see things like 16, which is like I see what is it? Opposing energies. Now, having said that, my twin and I are in our horoscope, both in Chinese and European, Western, are in an upper 99%, meaning we're perfect together, right? Including our north node. It's insane shit. But do I think that that's the only thing that gives you a twin flame? Yes, a thumbs up. No, no, because some twins will be born with completely opposing or conflicting charts to add to the handicap, the challenge to be in union, to be honest. So I don't buy that. I don't buy that. When I do see it, again, to repeat myself, when I first saw that concept, I went, yeah, concurrent incarnation. That's what I saw. And it happens. Okay, it happens a lot. Twin rays birth themselves. Think of Mary, Mother Mary, birthing Yeshua. Yeah, twin rays. And then he meets his twin rays. Well, how's that possible for him to meet his twin ray through Mary Magdalena? Because we are multidimensional light beings, having concurrent incarnations quite often. And so when you're a highly evolved being, your concurrent incarnations are going to be on a highly evolved, vibration, right? And when you're having a lower vibration, it's going to be lower vibration concurrent incarnations. That's all it is. It's really not. It's not too hard, to kind of how do I put it, accept it in some levels. And again, whenever I say, eat the fish and throw away the bones, meaning take what you can that resonates and throw it away, throw the rest away. How do we clear up past life trauma? There's a lot that I don't have time to actually talk about this, but I do have one thing to say that's really going to trip you out, because it's that simple. To clear out past life trauma is simply to actually revisit past life trauma. That's how you clear it. And that means that you go visit it. Like one of my past life traumas, I'll give you an example. I was having a lot of anxiety. I was in my 30s, a lot of anxiety. It didn't make sense. Went to my hypnotherapist. Turns out I was a 19-year-old Russian boy in 1909 or thereabouts. And literally I was pulled out of my bed with my siblings and I was shot in the head right in the snow by Bolsheviks because I was Jewish. So the minute I realized what it was, the anxiety dissipated within weeks. I had a friend who couldn't sleep on his stomach forever, did not believe in reincarnation, did not believe in any of that shit, went to my same hypnotherapist. That's why I became a hypnotherapist, by the way, folks, because I know it works. And he went back and into the 1700s or thereabouts in a castle, and he was a young boy, and he was stifled by his uncle who wanted to get the what is it called? The inheritance, because his father had died. He was about, I think he was like, he said he was a 12-year-old boy. And he was sleeping on his stomach, and he was stifled with pillows by his uncle. And after that, he was able to sleep on his stomach. And he still didn't believe. He said, well, maybe I was just metaphorically telling myself a story. And he still couldn't wrap himself to the fact that this was a past life. And that was it. Oh yeah, you asked me to bring up the video about the looking for the government looking for, no, that wasn't the part, but the government looking for the 144,000. We messaged them. No, I remember, but I don't have time to talk about it today. That's the thing, because I got to wrap it up. I actually have to go. But Cash Mommy came up with this idea that, well, what's being talked about is that there are governmental officials looking for the DNA of 144,000 high level beings, you know what I mean? And it's kind of weird what's happening. And why is this happening? Why are they looking for 144,000? And what are these 144,000? Are those part of the twin flame, or is this a different number of 144,000? And one thing I'm going to have to tell you is the 144,000 is perpetually looping. Perpetually looping. People meet, die, and when they die, new couples are introduced or whatever. And that's the same with the 144,000. The number 144 is a really potent number. It's the vibration of 9. You guys should go on YouTube and look up the following on YouTube, not Google. Please don't look it up on Google. You're not going to get shit. On YouTube, there are people that have done content on why the 9 is a high vibration, why it's a powerful number, why it's considered God's number. You may want to look at that, because 144 is 9. 108 is 9. And in the malas and so forth, japa beads, when you meditate on japa beads in Buddhism, it's 108. Okay? So 9 is a very powerful number. And so you may want to look at that and see why it is. And then, Cash Mommy, if you could remind me again, I'll do it again, but this time on the why the government is looking for 144,000 high-level, very brilliant light beings who are incarnated here, who have something in their DNA, because the junk DNA has been activated, and they're looking for them to probably do their own little tests, right? How can we know for sure we have a twin flame? It's too long for me to talk about it. Yeah, if you don't mind, that would be great. Thank you. Fake Queen, you may want to look at my videos, okay? Just check out my videos. I have like over 500 videos, and they're all about 3, 4, 5 minutes, and hopefully you'll know. Okay? Any other questions before I go? Because I have to go, actually. I have to get ready for this client. What's the difference between limerence and twin flame? Limerence is a word that George Carlin would eat up and spit out. You mean obsession? What's the difference between obsession and twin flames? The difference is look at my videos. And I think you stepped into the live just now, and I just actually explained all that, believe it or not. So no offense, I don't want to do it again. Because I want to kind of wrap it up, but I really did talk about it. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to download this video and upload it to YouTube. Is that cool? And then you can watch it, because I actually explained that to some detail, Fake Queen, and I want you to get the full strom of it and not half-assing it because I got to go. So I'll send that. Just look at my YouTube and give me a day, okay? In terms of the video that I need to make on the full moon, on the eclipse, excuse me, which is right around the corner. If you guys are not doing the 369s journaling thing, I would suggest you do. I would put your crystals out. I've got more. I'll do more. I'll do a video. And I've got to take care of that today. But today, I have a client in about 45 minutes. And then in between those two clients, I want to kind of meditate and do my thing. And then at 5. So I'm going to try to get the video done before the end of tonight, because I promised it Monday, and then just everything went You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You have a plan and then nothing happens. You get nothing done. So thank you, Tony. Have a good day. Stay safe and comfortable. I love you guys. I love all of you. Believe it or not. Many of you I don't know. Many of you I do know. And I love you. And I want to just say thank you for understanding and being patient with this ascension and with all of the questions that you have. Thank you, Letty. And I love you too. And just know, I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, just know that we are being spiritually attacked. It is a real thing. So call on your four archangels. Call on them as your bodyguards. Have them walk beside you like bodyguards. However you want to place them, and start doing that as a ritual every day, because as you grow into your light, there are boots, energetic boots that want to step on your throat. It's a real thing. So you're not being crazy. You're not crazy. Some of your depression is not even yours. Okay, I'll tell you that now. Some of it is yours because you're homesick. I get it. But some of it is not yours. Just remember that, okay? All right, sending you much love on your journey. I will upload this video, okay, so that you guys can look at this. Much love, and I'm so grateful for you all. I really am. Namaste.